Hi everyone, it's Tammy with Frou-frou Studio and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do the Color Combo 2023 and we are on week 2 of the Color Combo Challenge. And today we are doing, I saw a squirrel. I started my conversation with you guys and then I thought of something else and I was like bumfuzzled for a moment. Color Combo 2023, week 2. The colors are tan and cobalt blue, and we're going to work on this absolutely blank page in my journal that I purchased from Tailor Made Journals, which I absolutely love. And so I'm going to do a little spread and hopefully it will turn out well. The color that I'm going to be using for ink is Distress Ink Blueprint Sketch. I feel like this is the closest that I have to a cobalt blue, and so this is what I'm going to be using. And I am using the ink and not the Distress Oxide, because I feel like this is a better match than the Distress Oxide is. So, the first thing I'm going to do is address this absolutely blank page. And I have this piece of map, which is scrapbook paper, that I have sprayed with some coffee and some tea and some stuff on the back, and it has faded through to the front, and so I really like the way that looks. And so I'm going to glue this down because this sheet of paper is fairly light, and I'm going to be putting a couple pockets and stuff on here, and so I want it to be just a little bit heavier, so that it will hold up to flipping back and forth. So we're going to put this down first and get us a good start. We've got my glue book over here to the side. And so I'm just going to put some glue stick on the back and glue it down. Hope everyone is doing well. Prayers and thoughts to Clarksville and the Nashville area, which is fairly close to where I am, and they had some just devastating tornadoes the other afternoon, actually. We got the storms at night, but we didn't get any tornado action or anything like that. We just had thunderstorms, and I just hate the fact that are having to go through this at all, but definitely for sure that they're having to go through it right here at the holidays. That's just, it's awful, and it's awful anytime it happens, of course, but I just can't imagine having to go through something like that. So, if you're in the area, or if you have people in that area, just know that we are thinking about you and praying for you to get your life back to where it's somewhat reasonable fairly quickly. Okay, I never get the edges, and so a lot of times I'll run art glitter glue along the edges. And I did read on Instagram that there is someone in our junk journaling family, and I'm sorry that I can't remember who you are at the moment, that does have family and raise their children in that Clarksville area. And so, yes, ma'am, we are thinking about you and praying for you, for your families and your friends in that area. Okay, and then I'm going to make a pocket with this sheet. So the first thing I want to do is cut a notch in the top so that it looks like a pocket. Excuse my reach. And then I think I want to knock down this white a little bit. And I think I'm going to do that with some, maybe some tea dye. No, let's try antique linen. There really isn't a good tan color in Distress Oxide or in the ink. This is more of a yellowy, kind of aged color. But let's see if we can I just want to knock down the white. So it's not so, I might could do tea dye. Let me see what this looks like first. See, that's already better. Let me look at tea dye. I may not have a dauber for that. Oh, but I've got an empty one. Okay, that'll work. I'm gonna put it on my let's do around the edges with that. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move my book out of the way just a minute so I can kind of utilize my glass mat. I'm gonna start off the page and then come back on so that I don't get those real circly kind of lines. Circly lines. That's a good explanation in it. Hopefully you know what I'm saying. There. Okay, now I'm going to do my edges. In Vintage Photo. You wipe this off so it doesn't end up on everything. Okay. Now, Vintage Photo. And this will just bring out the edges of the piece, the very edges. Alright, so now we have a nice little pocket just out of a 4x6 piece of scrapbook paper that was out of a 4x6 pad that I believe I got at Hobby Lobby several years ago, so at least a couple years ago. So that's going to go down like that. And while I'm at it, I'm going to ink around this whole page because I will forget if I don't do it right now while I'm thinking about it. Okay, so now we can glue this on like a pocket. And actually, I'm going to do it like a belly band because I have a really long envelope that I want to put behind there. And so I'm going to do just on the sides only and not do the bottom. Try to get it fairly straight. Alright, so there's my first pocket. Okay, now for my second pocket, I have a piece of music paper that I have doubled up and made into a pocket and cut a circle in it. I doubled it up because this paper is very fragile and I want to be sure that it's sturdy enough to hold my tag that I'm going to put in here. I'm not going to cut a notch in this one because I want it to kind of have the illusion of being one piece, even though it is a pocket. And I did put gussets in the back, and I just trimmed my gussets around my circle. So I basically folded my gussets first and then poked my hole so that when I poked the hole in here, it also cut out the gusset to go around the circle, if that makes sense. And then I'm going to glue that right there. Not with that glue, or not with the 3-in-1 glue, unless absolutely necessary. Okay, we'll glue this down. just like that. So now we have a pocket here and a belly band here. Now, I'm going to make my tag out of this piece, and when it slides down into the pocket, which I'm probably trying to do too soon, it's gonna fit. See, I'm trying to rush it, and it's not stuck down. Anyway, when we get it down in a minute, it's going to slide down into that pocket, and this cute little boy and girl are going to stick in that hole. That's what I'm trying to say. But we'll leave it alone for a minute and cut the tops and stuff like that. And I'm going to round the bottom as well, because it will fit down in there better. So I'm going to do just a quarter inch on the bottom. Oh, and I've already messed up. Because I didn't want this edge to be all the way glued down, and it'll be the one that is all the way glued down, you watch. I bet I can't get that back up. Okay, I think that's wide enough. I have another little tag I want to stick over here. Yeah, that's going to work. Okay. Sorry. Minor faux pas. Alright, so then I'll get my angle cutter. And do I want a hole? Yeah, I think I do. Get my little hole punch. Maybe. Fumble fingers here. Okay, put a reinforcer on that. Not necessary. This is very thick cardstock, but I like the way it looks, so that's what we're going to do. And then I stamped in my blueprint sketch this butterfly on a piece of vellum. Now the vellum that I used is for printers. So be sure that if you're going to stamp on vellum, that you do use the one that you can print on. Otherwise, I feel like with the distress inks that it's going to smear. But it does work well if you use the digital vellum and you want to stamp on the side that is the smooth side. If you have the printable one side has kind of a smooth side and the other side you can feel a little bit of a texture. You want to stamp on the smooth side. Okay. And I'm going to use double-sided tape for this, I think. So I'm going to just put some on the wings. Make sure I get it on the right side here. I know you probably can't see what I'm doing. I don't know if the camera goes this far back. No, it doesn't. But I'll show you once I get these on here. It's hard to work on a big journal and still have it on screen of what I'm doing on screen, so bear with me for just a sec. Okay, so basically what I did is I just put a piece of double-sided tape on each of the wings. Now I'm going to attempt to pull the backs off and leave the tape on. Alright, and then I'm going to place this here. And I may have to take a little bit of art glitter glue and glue those antennae down, and hopefully it won't show too bad. I have some real skinny tape, but even it's not skinny enough for the antennae. Okay, and I don't care that these are overhanging because it is going to be a tag down in here. But if that, and it's toward the top. Now, if it was down here where it was going to be in the pocket, then yes, I would cut them off. But since it's going to be above the pocket, then I'm not going to worry about gluing those down. I kind of like them hanging over. And I did not, of course, bring any string over here to put in the top, but I'll put a piece of string like this one up here, just something simple that won't cause a lot of bulk. Okay, let's ink around the tag. This is scrapbook paper, and I do not know whose because it was the only piece I have left. And it was just stuck in my stash. And it does not have a name on it. It's kind of white on the back. If you didn't want that, you could ink it up a little bit, or you could put coffee dyed paper or whatever. This is my journal. I don't particularly care that it's white, so I'm just going to leave it. Now I'm going to attempt to put it down in here. a little tight. There we go. It just took a minute for it to realize it was supposed to go down in there. And then I made just this little tag and put a stamp on it in the blueprint sketch, just for another little blue and tan element. And I'm gonna stick it where I made this pocket over here on the side, I hope. I hope I am. There we go. And leave the numbers sticking out. That was my whole point, was to have those little blue numbers right there. Okay. Next, to finish off the pocket, I have this little piece of paper from, it's one of Tim Holtz backdrop pages, and it has all kinds of little fabric samples on it. And I just cut one of those out that I thought kind of had a tan look to it. And I'm going to put it up here. And underneath it, I'm going to put a piece of blue and white scrap paper. Just for another blue element. And a little piece of just cotton to kind of match the scrap that's on here. And I'm going to put it up a little bit higher so the paper and the fabric are going to be even width, and then this is going to be up a little bit higher and a little over to the side, and I'm just going to glue the bottom part in this little side part over here. Alright, so let's do the blue strip first, and it's going to go right at the top of the circle. And then I'm going to do the fabric just a little bit higher. The utility company is cutting trees outside, so if you hear terrible noises, that's what it is. I don't think you will be able to hear it. I can hear it, but if you do, that's what it is. And then this, I'm going to glue higher and about halfway down. And all the way over to the edge of the map. Oop, higher, Tammy, higher. So that fabric sticks out just a little bit. All right, and then here's my envelope, and I have a circle here that is out of that same paper, and it says blowing in the wind. And I would like to use that. Maybe I'll just stick it just because I like that song, for one. I'm dating myself. That's okay. Alright, and let me show you this envelope. Alright, this is just a faux tea-dyed envelope, but it's long, like the journal. And so what I did is I just unglued one end and then sealed it, because it makes an excellent long pocket when you do that for one of these journals. Especially if you're doing one of the tall, skinny journals. I think that's really cool. And then you could put something, you know, to hold it closed or whatever across here. I'm not going to worry about that because I'm going to put it down in the pocket. And I'm also going to put some stuff on top of it, because I have this really cool vintage receipt here. And then I have my blue stamp that I'm going to clip on here with a rusty paper clip. I started to say safety pin. And then I think I'm going to clip this under there. And just clip all those together. And then slide the whole thing. And this is why I left it a belly band, because I want the envelope to show coming out the bottom as well. And I'm just going to slide it behind here. Just like that, and you can see that it shows just a little bit down here at the bottom. Actually, it would look really cool to put a stamp right there, I think, in the blue. Maybe what? Maybe what? Another number? Or maybe... Oh, see, I think I'm done, and then I'm like, oh, but we could do this. I think I'm going to do that one. And I know I probably should take it out and do it so I can be sure and get a good stamp, but I'm not going to. Oops. Wipe that up before I end up. I flipped the ink pad over on my glass mat. Okay, here we go. Yep. Perfect. I'm just eyeballing. See if I want something else. Look through my camera here a minute. Sorry for the shadow. I stood up. Yep, I like it. So there we go. Another week in the book. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. We've got 2 weeks left after this one. Next week is tan and peach. Peach is not one of my favorite colors, but we'll work with it and see what we can come up with. And then the final week is tan and leaf green. And we'll be done, guys. We will have done this for a whole year. Can you believe it? There will be a new challenge after the first of the year. I'm working on it, and so hopefully by next week, I'll be able to tell you what that is, so that if you want to participate, you can start getting the stuff ready. We won't start it until January, but I can go ahead and try and let you know if I have it all put together next week, and that way you can start gathering stuff up if you want to participate, which I hope you do. I have thoroughly enjoyed everybody participating in this one and seeing your makes and your creativity. You were all wonderful creators, and you know, don't ever think that your work is not good enough to post, because it's your work, it's art regardless, and we can't make ourselves better, and we can't grow as an artist, which, you know, I think that I am by far not an artist. I hate to call myself that. But, you know, it's a learning process, and we can't learn unless we do. Or I can't. I can't watch somebody else do something and feel like I've learned anything. I have to have my hands in there and, you know, do it myself. So, you know, don't ever feel like that your work is not good enough. If it's good enough for you, then it's good enough. So, I hope that you will continue to participate. And if, as always, if you ever have any questions about something I've done or a product I've used or something like that, please reach out. I don't have any affiliates or anything like that, and so any advice or anything like that that I give you for a particular product or a way that something is done is truly from me doing it and the results that I've gotten and how I feel about it personally. So, you know, don't ever feel like that if you ask me something, I'm telling you because somebody's paying me, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, that's it. I'll quit gabbing, and I will see you guys back tomorrow for Wednesday Grunge Play. Until then, everybody have a great evening. Bye.